So recently I posted a tutorial about the Akimbos and how to use them, and you guys seem to like that a lot. So naturally, I think posting another video about the Akimbos and sort of showing you my clips of me using them and sort of breaking down what I'm doing in those clips will also help in learning the Akimbos. So let's get right into it. For each of these clips, I'm just going to watch it through fully one time without really saying anything. I want you guys to sort of see what I'm doing with the Akimbos inside these clips before I say anything. And then after we watch it through one time, I'll sort of point out specific parts of those clips that I want to talk about and sort of give you an idea of what is good, what is bad that I'm doing in these clips. Let's start with the first one. Of course, there's a guy up here. I'm in a fight with a sniper light. I try to get away from him, but I eventually end up meeting the sniper light inside the hallway. And I'm 114 HP. Sniper does around 114 HP. So I'm one shot to the light. I think one of the good things I do here, especially with the Akimbos, is like I go for a shot and I'm able to hit it. And this lets me know how much HP the enemy has. The enemy has like 2.5 bars. It's like 2 shots of the Akimbos. But since the enemy is so close, and quick melee is basically a shot of the Akimbos, I decide to quick melee after I shoot my dig shot. And the main difference between like a quick melee and a dig shot is that like it's a slower fire rate damage option. So it's mostly used as like a finisher move whenever using the Akimbos. But in this circumstance, I felt like I had to quick melee as a non-finisher move because in this situation, the light is so close, I feel like I'm going to miss some shots. A quick melee gives me sort of that AoE attack, which allowed me to switch to my goo gun to make sure they aren't able to kill me with a sniper shot. And then I've just finished them off with the deeks after getting some distance. So I think one of the biggest things about this clip is like sort of judging what you have at hand and knowing that the Akimbos aren't your only way to do damage.
Keep beating it up there.
I'll go on.
Wow, it's easy. So for this clip, I started off with an easy 3-tap headshot on a medium stealing. And one of the biggest things here is like always keeping your composure. So like here,
I'll go on.
like always take your time. I'm not spamming the deeks. Like if I spammed the deeks there, I probably would have wasted 1 or 2 more extra bullets. Maybe I would have killed him a lot faster, but like at the cost of those bullets, maybe not worth it. Especially when the enemy is sort of standing still, it's a lot more worth it just to waste 3 bullets to kill them rather than sort of committing to a spray. And after I get that kill, the enemies are sort of scattering, trying to get the res. They trying to gateway out. One of the things that I like that I did here, like flick towards the enemies before he escapes. And I think one of the biggest things you should be doing with the Akimbos also is targeting the lower health opponent, and that could mean a lot of things. Like if a heavy is like 2-shot, you should probably focus him, right? But it could also mean like just in a general, like if all the enemies are full HP, just targeting the lower build. So like if there's a light, there's an option between shooting a full health light or a full health heavy. You're going to want to target the light because your burst potential is so much better against those type of builds because they have less HP, and you can 2-shot lights. And as you see, I was able to get that light kill because he was taking fire damage. And because I shot him once, he was able to die pretty quickly. Pretty cool clip. Fights have. Fights 1 bar. Oh, they're all up here. But I'm good though, maybe. Nice. Nice. Ooh. I feel like this clip isn't really about the Akimbos, but one thing I wanted to talk about while watching this clip specifically is that even when, like, in this situation, like, I'm going against 2 people, right? Like, it's not very viable for me to use or to fight people, like, 2 people close range with the Akimbos. Is like, it's just not possible. I'm just going to die. They're both shooting at me. I'm not really able to shoot the... like, I'm not really able to burst them down quickly. And so I just like goo-gun myself here. But one thing I wanted to show about the Akimbos is like, because they're such like a high damage weapon per shot, and not like a normal automatic weapon like Lewis gun or FCAR. If you're able to get one shot off, like look at here, that one shot can do so much more than a shot of like an FCAR or Lewis gun, and they're both taking up the same amount of time. Like shooting one time with a Lewis gun, shooting one time with a Deegs, is taking up about the same amount of time. So always finding the little moments in time that you can get a shot and capitalizing on those is really strong. Lights rezzing. Complete domination. Here I'm really abusing that high ground advantage. It's hard for them to shoot me. As you can see, like the floor of this suspended structures is covering half of my body. I'm shooting down on them, which I can see most of their body because the cover they have doesn't really cover from above. It's just super advantageous for me. I'm able to get the kills pretty easily. Notice I'm not spraying the Deegs. Don't spray the Deegs. And boom. Even when I get into a closer range that's more fair for the enemies to fight me, I still take my time and don't panic, which is pretty cool. Oh, gateway. Yeah, no time though. One of the biggest things that I get asked is like, how do you fight lights, or how do you fight dashing lights? And in my opinion, it's sort of half aiming and half predicting the enemy's movements. Aiming in the way like your ability to move your crosshair to the enemy is sort of like that sort of aiming, like knowing how much mouse you need to move to get your crosshair on the enemy. The other half being predicting the enemy's movements. If you can move your crosshair to the enemy, that's good, but like it's not helpful if you can't do that the entire time. Like to move it to the enemy, you have to know where the enemy is. And that's where like it feels like you have to understand the game to be able to aim better in this game, if that makes sense. Like if you know how fast a medium moves across your screen, then it's going to be easier for you to position your crosshair in a way where it will be mostly on the medium the entire time they're running or jumping. And the same thing goes for this light where he's dashing around. It's like, oh, I know where the dash is going to end up. I know how fast the light's moving. I know how fast he falls. I know how high, what's his height, everything like that. Go to medium. Light dead. It's heavy. Another team wipe just for me. All right, that clip's pretty good, pretty good. I basically just solo team wipe the entire team with Deegs. And a lot of this, I feel like, just sort of comes down to having patience and calmness. And I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a lot here, but not spraying the Deegs. Like, I'm able to get a kill on a medium player with 6 bullets, which is not bad. That's sort of the average of what you want to get for killing a medium player. Notice how here, I have 2 targets here, right? Heavy and the light at the bottom right of my screen. I switch to him like before the mesh even comes out because like I know that the light's going to be easier to kill. And then it's just me versus the heavy. I'm very low HP. I probably shouldn't be taking this fight, but I'm pretty confident because like I have 2 teammates. I'm just going to head and take the fight. I mean, obviously, probably shouldn't do this. Most of the times I should lose this fight. I mean, I did start regenerating my health, so it's not too bad. Good.
That's why I don't run SA-12. That's why I don't run SA-12.
Notice how I'm using the Hipfire a lot, and it's because like the enemies are super close to me, and like because they're so close, I don't really want to be aiming down the sights where like everything is more zoomed in. So that if the enemies move just a little bit, it's gonna be like they're moving a lot on my screen, and having to keep adjusting your aim like that is a little bit hard to do. So right here, I just opt to, crouch Hipfire, especially for that medium that's like sort of mid-range-ish. And I'm also able to get headshots on that. It was perfect. And then this light comes up with the DB. And immediately, I'm sort of pushing myself away from the light. Like I'm sort of backing them up in a spot where I can predict where the enemy is going to be. And that's sort of another thing is like, if you can move yourself in a position where it makes aiming a lot easier for you, you should definitely do that. And what I sort of mean here is like, as the light sort of comes over the table, I don't want to get the light the option to go left or right to me, because it's going to be making it a lot harder for me to predict like where to aim. It's like right when the light comes here, I'm sort of like pushing myself in the bottom left direction. Like it makes it easier for me to position my crosshair in an area that I know I can force the light to. But yeah,
That's why I don't run SA12.
Let me see Salish.
there's nothing to see.
Ah, what do you mean about this? Kid, bro. Ah, what are you doing? Bro, you popping off? Almost a three-piece? The three-piece? Oh, that's a YouTube reel right there, bro.
I think one thing that you should probably take note here is like, every fight I take is sort of unfair for the enemy team. Like here, the first fight I take, I'm sort of behind this pillar. I can escape if I need to. And even so, I get the first shot on the enemy, so he's already starting off with a debuff. And then after I get that kill, I throw out Dome Shield. So it's like they're fighting a 300 HP plus 185 HP person. It's like impossible for him to fight. And notice when he goes to hide behind the cash out station, I have pre-aimed the spot that he's most likely to peek. And then that just gives me free headshots. So having that good crosshair placement also helps. And that's also part of the aiming thing that I was talking about, like 50% aiming, 50% predicting your enemy's movements. And then even after I get that kill, I back up to safety because the dome is going to go away soon. And now I'm still playing this cover. And the enemies just can't really fight me, because even if they do try to attack me, I'm shooting at them. They're getting pressured, and if they try to shoot back at me, I'm just going to hide behind the wall if I need to.
Let's go with that. Kills for the clip, for the YouTube short, double thinking. 360.
If I get low enough.
No! No!
Bro, come on. All right, so this clip, I do a lot of things wrong, but like the first two kills is pretty decent, right? Like if you look at the first two kills, I'm just doing my same old thing. I'm shooting them. I'm not spraying. I'm able to get pretty consistent shots on the medium. And the heavy, he gets cooked in 3 bullets. And in this 1v1 to light, I feel like I start panicking here. I feel like there's some pressure. Like my teammates are hyping me up too much. And I feel like I'm trying to clip farm, and I feel like I kind of lose focus. If I get low enough. And so you can see here, I start panicking, like miss the first shot. I start to spray the deeks in close range. This dude's like, I've missed like 5 bullets, only hit 1 bullet. No. I only end up hitting 2 bullets in total. One of the biggest things there is like I was spraying too much. I wasn't really moving towards the enemy, and I think I slide shot, which is definitely not what you should be doing. If I get low enough. Slide shooting is probably like one of the most inaccurate ways to shoot the deeks. No! The more you panic, the less you're able to sort of read the enemy. And it's sort of like you're just walking into the darkness. You don't have as much control that you need. Good heavy. Nice. Yeah, so this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's like using cover to your advantage. And one of the things is like, if you have like good cover or like a good head peek like this, it's a lot easier to read the enemy's movements. Not only do you have to focus less about like moving yourself, because like if you're in this very good spot but you don't have like space to move, is like you don't really need to worry about that. You just focus on looking at the enemy, shooting the enemy. Good heavy. And less on sort of like yourself, or like moving yourself or throwing gadgets and stuff, because you don't really need to. Like even here, like the enemy tries to RPG me, it still doesn't do any damage because I'm playing this such a weird spot. It doesn't really matter what they do. All I have to do is focus on myself, focus on the enemy, look at what they're doing, and just shoot them. I think one of the cool things here also is like, notice how when I get RPG'd, right? Good heavy. after the RPG breaks the wall, notice how I automatically start crouching. Before the RPG comes, right, I have to stand up. I have to stand up to be able to see the enemy and shoot them, right? But right when the wall comes down, my instinct is telling me crouch. Because like when I crouch, I am more accurate. And there's no reason not to crouch. I'm already in the same position as I was. And with the wall gone, there's like absolutely no reason for me not to crouch here. Which is something that I feel like as you play the Akimbos, is something you're going to get used to. It's sort of like automatic positioning moves or noticing what's the most advantageous position for yourself. Oh, dead. The riot shield orange.
Think up quick. Yeah. Pull him up.
When the going gets tough, the tough shells steal a cash out. Nice play.
Orange white. So his first kills, I think it's really good. Enemies jumping, I like barely see him, and I instantly flick towards his area, and I automatically calculate sort of like the trajectory he's taking. Hipfire, hipfire. Nice. Oh. And you could say it's luck, or like I just got lucky with those shots. I mean, yeah, you could say that. I was Hipfire, probably not crouching as well. If you know the enemy can't really hit you, like look at the way this guy is like jumping and not even looking towards me. Like I don't even think he was trying to attack me or anything. But there's really zero risk in a situation like this. It's like this guy's about to go out of my view. Do I waste like 4 bullets trying to shoot him before he goes out of my view? And I think the answer is always going to be yes. Especially if they're playing medium or heavies, like it's going to be a little bit longer before they can regen their health, even if they do get away. If you don't take the chance, what are you going to use the bullets for? You're already at the high ground position. You have advantage. You have time. You have spots to, like, if you take damage, you can jump down and reload again. But with the Deegs, it's like, it's not like the KS where like you have 6 bullets and that's it. At the end of the day, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And here I sort of drop down to sort of capitalize off the pick I got. Orange. I immediately go for the guy that's defib because he's the easiest to kill. When a medium gets defib, it takes you 3 shots to kill them. So that's definitely the move. Especially when the other person is a riot shield. They have to close the distance on you. And especially when fighting a person like a riot shield, you have to be more, I have to say, passive with the way you're like attacking. Because you can't just like run at them with Hipfire or anything like that. Because like they'll win the close range battle. That's what they're supposed to do. So a lot of my playstyle here is sort of just trying to get the shots I can when the riot shield is exposed. Like when I go there, I'm able to shoot his head because he's not positioning his riot shield correctly. And when over here, I try to take as many shots as I can towards the feet. And I know he's weak, so I can close that distance. I'm not trying to always run away from the riot shield because if I go too far away, riot shield is going to just run away and regen. So when he gets really low here for the quick melee combo, I'm able to do it. But even before that, even like on the defib kill, I want to also mention like the quick melee finisher. And then you also save a bullet by doing that. Good one. I stopped it. That's a pretty clean sequence. I think the biggest things here is like in this sort of team, like in this sort of situation, I have access to everyone's health bar. Like before I even start shooting, like I can see this guy is 1 shot to the Deegs immediately. This guy is hurt a little bit, so I'm able to get the first kill. Like immediately, like it's like I'm like pre-planning the aiming part. Like if 50% of it's aiming, I'm doing 100%. Like I'm doing 50% for that first guy, 50% for the second guy, like already ahead of time. Because like I shoot this guy, immediately go for this guy, and immediately start shooting, and it's perfect. And here I also see this guy's HP because of the fire. And I'm looking at this guy. This guy's already like 3 bars. Like I could just melee kill him, and that's what I end up doing because I'm so close range. I don't really trust. As I'm also reloading, so like, but even if I didn't kill that person with 1 quick melee, I could also just quick melee again because I'm already so close to the enemy. Oh my, he's what? Why is he spinning? That's funny. And this one, I feel like I hit some pretty good shots here, and I want to really highlight like predicting the enemy's movements. That's funny. Notice like even at, like as the enemy's like moving around these railings, jumping, I'm still tracking them as they're going down. This guy's falling, I still track him, and yeah. Guy's dead, medium dead, light dead. Medium dead. Ooh, nice. First 2 bullets, straight out. I'm hit 2 different enemies. I was going to focus the guy that's not moving as much, but he's sort of behind the goo wall, so I know that I can't really capitalize on getting that kill. I immediately switched to the guy that jump pad, and I'm able to finish that kill pretty easily because he's falling. I understand how the movement works. And then I go back to the goo wall where the next enemy is, and I'm able to kill that guy pretty easily. He's just running out in the open. It's hunting season. It's free low. Or you might be wondering, like, how do I know the last guy's to my right? And I can still hear my teammates shooting and stuff like that, so I know the enemy's to the right. And boom, free kill. And I feel like this is a good example of sort of just like using reasoning with your gameplay. Environment, like the goo walls, like choosing your priority targets. Heavy dead. 1 medium 3 bar.
We're fighting their fight.
Okay.
Take this to people. Take this to people.
Hold on, that guy's one. Oh, he's one guy left. One of the longer range clips with the deeks, and as sort of the enemies get further and further away, the less you really need to move. Mainly because like when enemies are super far away, they're like not really trying to fight you because you're so far away. They don't think you're going to be as much of a threat. So when you're sort of fighting that long range fight, you don't also have to move as much until like later into the fight when they start shooting back at you. You want to hit as many shots as you can, and then standing still is sort of the best way to hit that. And as you see here, I don't really move that much. I'm shooting them. I hit basically kill heavy with all my bullets. And as they start shooting me, I go back, take cover, reload. And the thing is, like, when I do this, is like my teammates are still shooting them. I know I can re-peek like immediately after I reload.
We're fighting their fight.
And I'm able to get free kills like that. And again, predicting your enemy's movements is half of the battle. Knowing that these enemies are just walking down this plane, it's easy for me to pre-adjust my aim, know exactly when I want to click to shoot, and that's something that I do. I end up not being able to finish off this guy, but after I reload, I'm able to shoot sort of where the enemy is based off my ping. And that's another thing, is like not really the Akimbo tip, but like just in general, you do want to ping enemies as you're shooting. And I have my ping button on my mouse. It's really easy for me just to tap it while I'm doing all my movements and stuff, which is cool. One dead.
It is painful missing one bullet. But if you hit in the middle, you hit in the middle.
It's sort of similar to the last clip. It's like when we're fighting from like super far range, you don't really need to move as much, especially when you have head cover. You don't want to move away from your head cover. And tracking the enemy as he falls, enemy moving towards you, it's free. Keep in mind, is like when enemies are moving sort of like in a straight line, it's going to be a lot easier for you to shoot them compared to like an enemy moving side to side. And here, the last kill is just the head dominance, or the high ground dominance. All of the parts that I can shoot the enemy are mostly his head. I'm able to just get so much damage. Heavy dead, one guy left. Oh, defense below. Oh, sir. Embark, nice. Oh, dead. So here we have a close range clip. And notice, like, whenever I play close range, like, it's always running at them, shooting very quickly. Because, like, when you're super close range, it's like you don't need to slow down as much, because most of your bullets will hit regardless if you're spamming them or not, just because like the enemies are so close. And that's sort of what I do here. Oh, defense below. Oh, sir. Notice how like I shoot this guy that gets revived, but I know he's not fighting me, so I crouch instinctively because like I want to get more accuracy. But I also know like if I'm crouched, I'm probably going to take more damage. But since he's not really aggroed on me, there's really no reason for me not to crouch. All right, so that basically covers the clips I wanted to cover today. I think I chose a good variety of them to sort of explain a lot of the things that I'm doing. Let me know if you guys like that. I do have more D clips. I think this is a good amount of clips for this type of video. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all later. Boom.